The epoch, of global fear has provoked extreme reactions and sentenced the world to indefinite confinement behind the bars of homeland security. With the political backlash against marked foreigners, foreign-born or foreign-looking members, asylum and refugeeism remain a key political issue, while immigration and integration, arbitrarily connected to terrorism, have become an explosive matter of voting debate in national politics. Everywhere, migration has shot up the list of governmental concerns. Questions arising on the move, at the borders, in the encounter with the other, and when stranger meets stranger, all tend to intensify around the problem of the other foreigner. Someone doubly strange who does not speak nor look like the rest of us, being paradoxically at once exotic guest and abhorred enemy. In my films and books, I've been working on a range of figures of otherness, such as the foreigner, the outsider, the stranger, the wanderer, the one who leaves. That is, the exile, the migrant, the voluntary and involuntary immigrant, and the refugee. And more recently, I focused on the figure of the walker, more specifically on the outside-inside walker, the female walker and her double. Among the numerous notions I've elaborated with the walker, I would mention here that of the boundary event, which has been the focus of previous research published in my new book, Elsewhere Within Here. The boundary event is here at once material and immaterial. On the one hand, for example, the wall event, a scar in the environmental landscape, and a visual statement of one's relationship with one's neighboring communities across the region, at once transgressive and a regressive presence. The high wall that keeps out is the same wall that keeps in. Such are, for examples, the wall of security, or rather of insecurity, at the US-Mexico borders, the highly controversial Israeli West Bank wall, the 3-mile concrete wall built in Baghdad with American support, referred to as the Great Wall of Adamiyah, or the Great Wall of Segregation. On the one hand, the boundary event needs not be material. It could be an event in time and duration. Twilight, for example, figures prominently in my work as the setting for the walker. The fragile moment is that of a multiple encounter between day and night, between east and west. With each step forward, the world comes to us. With each step forward, a flower blooms under our feet. The spirit of the walk has led me to a whole tradition of independent walkers in ancient Asia, at the same time as it provides me with a link to struggles around the world. It is in this spirit that today's lecture event unfolds. What you will be hearing is largely excerpted from a book I'm finishing, Love's Sidle, in which writing finds its way through small and large wounds of our time, as glimpsed through the claims to victory of 21st century colonial wars, and through the critical voices of the people. War offers its lesson of darkness as an irreversible gift of death. The opening setting for the book is a walk during twilight, when events of the world come to the walker in an unplanned, unexpected, albeit tightly interrelated way. The book gives the reader an entry into a very different dimension of war and features a certain aspect of occupation through the deeds of two giants, the US and China. Opening with the ending of war in Iraq, it unfolds its course across times and territories, involving the wars in Afghanistan, Vietnam, and Lebanon, and the transnational struggles of women in the US, Argentina, Mexico, and China. And it ends with the challenge of Tibet. Walking is here an activity for peace, in other words, a mode of receptivity and a way of apprehending the world. It is a creative gesture, both virtual and physical, which I call walking with the disappeared. Beware of the time of terror, entre chien et loup, when wretched dogs are taken for wolves. Whether in victory or in defeat, now is the time for the generals and their armies to weep, not only for the victims on our side, but intimately for one's own loss and for humanity's victims, victims of occupying forces, victims of the oppressive powers in each and all, victims of victims, and moreover, victims to a victim order, the systematized laundering of all forms of wretchedness which capitalizes on human misery and masks a profound malady of indifference. Now is the time to absorb the truth of the eye's liquid function and to let the tears guide as great power conflict returns and imperial expansionist policies continue to drive governmental abuses in the name of national interests and security, seeing not how in their very intransitions they are preparing theirs and humanity's own demotion. Competing resurgent empires are again flexing their muscles at savage human cost.